Welcome to High Vibe Channeling on Sundays. And today is October the 5th. And we have two sessions. First session with Mr. Ray Hyman. It's going to bring the hybrid children, for those who have not experienced that. And we'll have the opportunity of asking questions relating to that. And then later, I'm sure we can talk to Ray for a little while. And he's such a phenomenal fellow to address whatever commentary that you may have. And then we'll have Serge Grambois at 7:30, and he will be channeling Chris, 41 years, I think almost 42 years
43.
Channeling Chris. 43?
This is his 43rd year, yes.
Oh, 43rd year. There we are. And he's Canadian. He lives around the Toronto area right now, basically. In fact, you can find him at a health food store over there somewhere in the Toronto suburbs. Anyway, so that's what the program is about for tonight. And with that, I'm going to turn it all to Ray.
And thank you all for coming and focusing your attention. And if you don't mind muting until that time for question comes up, please. And if no one has any questions, we're just going to let the little darlings come in and see what they have to say, because I have no idea. I just know that they're excited.
We get to play with new people. We get to play with new people. It's always exciting to meet new humans because we never know where these connections are going to lead. And it helps open up minds to what is possible for all of those new interactions, because this will be an energy and information that they have not been able to have access to in ways, or integrate in many ways. So this will be an opportunity for reaching out and reaching in and connecting. And we are sharers. That is our role. We are a instrumental tool in helping to get humanity into the spacefaring race you are to become. But you have to get there. And we will help you, and your young people will help you, and those who are open-hearted and authentic, and who are looking out for all consciousness on your planet will help you. For it is indeed a collective energy which we are looking for, because once you hit that level, then we will come swooping down on you, bringing gifts of love, which shall wake your hearts, expand your loving capacities, and help to unify all of the consciousness on your planet. Not just humans. Humans will go to identify with the earth and everything on it, and then we will help you as a collective identify with the spacefaring neighbors, which will come and be with you, and in some ways physical as well. Now, our role is set, but our probabilities are up to you, for we are well equipped to do our roles, and we have many roles, and there are, if you are not aware, different types of hybrid children for various roles. For we are indeed crafted like a expert, or by experts, to perform tasks and missions. But those words do not convey the true scope of our duties. For indeed, there are multiple layers and multiple dimensions, and many multiples of beings which are related not only to this ascension and the support of the burgeoning evolution of humanity, but we are also working on behalf of them, for they wish to learn more about you. And this little neck of the physical realm is a strange place for beings who have never experienced physicality. For not many beings choose to go into this density. So we are able to literally bridge that energy and the energy of the others, and we can help them understand and relate and expand and grow in their own ways, because each individual and each race can take the information, those energetic vibrational signatures that we convey to them, and they can use that to see how they might wish to proceed in expanding and growing in their own special ways. So each of you are special because each of you has that connection, has that desire to reach out to more than what you are. And that more is available to you. Not all of it is here, but all of it is available. You merely have to work, not really work, you have to flow into that higher vibration by following your excitement, doing all of the things to release any beliefs or energies which do not serve you, and to have that intent and authentic desire to find out more, and the willingness to ask for help and to ask for clarification or any other thing which you might think of which may help you get to that desired location spiritually, to help you connect not only to us in ways, but the beings who are right for you, and to get a firmer conduit of communication with your higher self, for that is available. And there are certain concepts and certain modes of experience which you have to reach, we will say. It's not that it is being kept from you, but you have to get there. The example we have used before is that it is a very huge party, and you can plan for that party all the time. And then when the time comes, if you don't go, you don't get to enjoy it. So you guys have to make sure that not only you get the invitation and you have the location, but you show up. You show up and enjoy yourselves fully, because that is the nature not only of our reality, but your reality. But humans have a tendency to mute that joy which comes in. They cloud their minds with, we don't wish to say low vibrational, because that is a bit judgmental. It has connotations which we do not approve. But from the doubts and fears and beliefs which do not serve. Now, understand that with all of you, there are many yous. So draw some comfort, if you can, in that if it is important, another you will take the choice which you did not. But that is a concept for another day. And with these new playmates that we have just encountered, and we appreciate you all individually and in mass, then we get to have new experiences, and we get to tap into their psyche. Well, not really us, but through us, other individuals can, it doesn't sound very nice, but they can sample your energy, and they can get information about you because they have that grander view. They can see your life, your lives, your sphere of energetic ball, which you have only a fraction of the realization of, because that is the nature of your reality. You are focused in this linear space-time coordinate, and there are many such coordinates in which you exist in this realm, not to mention, we won't mention. You can just imagine, just throw out a big 12-digit number and we'll be good with that. And that is pretty much the nature of our opening statements. But if anyone else has something to add, we will be glad to play with any answers that we have and share. And hopefully somebody will sing to us, because we love singing. We love playing. We love bonding. We get excited when we think about that.
So, dear children, you have a lot of new people here that have not experienced this energy.
Yay!
And in the past, you have spoken about the assimilation process that you are engaged in
Mm.
for the purposes of actually being in the first waves of ETs that will
Well,
arrive.
not us. We are not in the first wave. Because that will freak out some people. So the originals, they're and that is a loose probability, we will say. For there are time frames where we will be coming with the Pleiadians, with the Yael, depending on which one comes first. This is all still in flux in ways, but as we have mentioned before, we are focusing on the timelines with open contact. And please forgive us for cutting you off when you were being so polite.
Thank you. I was just trying to define a little better for the field the process of assimilation that you're in at this stage. Assimilation with humans.
Well, for our keep in mind, contact has been happening for decades and decades and decades. It has just been kept from you. There have always been sects or governments or groups which have always known about the extraterrestrials or ETs. I mean, the indigenous have known about star people since they were indigenous, for they were originally in connection with them, with the Sasquatch, with all of the wee folk, with all of the energies of the earth. That was a profound thing. And they protected and participated and supported those energies on behalf of the entire planet. But that is a little bit of a digression. For the assimilation which you are referring to, is like anything new that you have to undertake. Say, for instance, you don't have a lot of expertise building a model, and somebody gifts you a big ship with lots of pieces on it, and it requires some intricate patience and timing, and you have to do everything in just the right order. And you say, boy, I love that. I'm focused on how this is going to look when it's done, and I'm going to show it off to everybody. But you have to go through that process to learn. That is what we are doing for you in ways, because you have to go through that process. That's why you will see all of these ships coming in. You will not see them go, hi, we're in your neighborhood again. Thanks for stopping by. We're out here. Because that is just not the way. But each of those is a knock on the door and running away. And you say, I know somebody was there. I know. And you do not doubt those experiences after a while. And that is settling in. That is assimilation. It is also the variety and the multitudes and the proliferation of channelers on your planet. It seems like there are probably more channelers than there are new YouTube videos at times. Although we know that is probably not the case because you guys like spending time looking at electronics. But anyway, you get the idea. And the assimilation from our end is is we don't wish to say a waiting game, but it's a waiting game. For we can't do anything until you get to that point. It is like the going to the party. We have a party gift, lots of party gifts and party favors, and we have everything all planned out, and we are just waiting for the doors to open so we can go in and celebrate. And that is where it is. So from our end, yes, plans are being made, plans are always being refined, and there are lots of individuals and beings who are active in several parts in and on your planet that is supporting this as well. And there are lots of beings among you. Oh my gosh. And everything, we won't say everything, but there are so many different samplings of the vibrational capacities and standings of the various individuals on Earth and on the Earth Collective as a whole. Because keep in mind, if you wish to have your personal contact event, you can have that. that. You can have that. You can be one of the first ones, but you have to get there yourself, and it has to be relevant for your soul path. And the rest of the details will work out. That is it. And you've all had contact already in your dream states, all of you, because otherwise you would not be here. So that is an important fact for you to maybe concentrate on and ask, give yourself a dream suggestion before you sleep and say, hey, I want a dream where I am connecting with the right beings for me, which are involved in open contact. And then ask to remember too. Now, we we urge you not to ask for specific beings, because if you do that, you may not, it may set up some disappointment because you have some constraints. For instance, if you just say, hey, go to the store and buy me a jacket, and somebody comes back with a jacket that is half floral print and half candy stripes with big yellow zebras on it, and you're going to say, well, that's not really what I was thinking of. Well, if you restrict and you don't say anything, then you're going to get something. But if you're open, it will be what you need. It will be what you need. Those connections that you can have are already connected to you. You have lots of lives. You have lots of realities. You spread yourself, but never thin, because the larger parts of you, the more grander parts, are really doing their best to expand in most loving ways and finding new ways to love and expand the love of their creations. And you are all doing that. You are all part of that. And you are all part of something much, much bigger. For if you look at it, you are, let's just say that there are as many beings who are interested in this as there are mammals on your planet. So there is a lot to integrate, because a lot of those beings who are going to be coming in, you would not survive if you came into contact with them. It would be like you going up and hugging a power plant. You might be happy for a millisecond, but then you would be able to look at it all from spirit because your body would be crispy. But that is not the most delicate of visions, but we hope that it got our message across. And we hope that you can assimilate this into your understanding.
Thank you. Alex, please.
Thanks for taking the time to meet with us.
Woohoo, it's your time.
Well, I think we're already on our way to reaching that next thing.
Oh, yeah.
How do we maximize the enjoyment we have while doing that? Because I think that's important too.
Well, maximizing the enjoyment, doing your excitement is the only thing other than being authentic. And once you desire, you put forth physical action, you put forth emotion. That is how your society manifests. That's how your realm manifests. So it has already happened. You guys are just waiting for it to unfold so you can see how it comes about. And then we will all celebrate together. For we are already celebrating now because we know how it happens, and we are rejoicing, and we are just, it's like, have you ever bought the perfect gift for someone and you wrap it up and you are just so excited? You are bursting because you know it's what they've always wanted, and you know, you anticipate what the response is going to be. That is what it is like for us. We already have all of these gifts for humanity, and we are waiting for you to come so we can give them to you and celebrate and open up and feel all that joy. And that joy will be multiplied because there will be a combined unity of joy. And everyone who experiences it will go and tell other people, and it will spread better than COVID did. Another pleasant vision. But anyway, did that help you, Mr. Alex?
I think it did. Is there any tips you could give us in our individual daily lives to more effectively prepare for the party?
We could, but we are going to give you a hint instead to ask your higher self. Ask what you need to do individually. Well, we have the pat answer. Yes, do your shadow work. Work on your vibration. Be open-hearted and loving in all instances, and have the desire and authenticity to do so. For everything you do is a test and affects your vibration. You are tested multiple times each day about where you are, who you are. You are given chances to help, to hold open a door perhaps, or pick up something somebody has dropped, or you know somebody needs a favor and you help them out without asking. All of those raise your vibration. But every time you cuss at somebody in traffic, or you think about somebody who has wronged you in the past and it triggers you, then that obviously lowers your vibration a little bit. But so do the things, be the most honest and authentic you can be. Be the best human that you can imagine, and make sure that your actions align with that. But as for anything unspecific on an individual basis, you have all of the answers. You do not need to ask anyone else. You can just say, higher self, I really want to know this, or I really like some help or some guidance. Can you tell me blah, 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 blah? And we can tell you blah, 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 blah. But you will get more direct answers from your higher self. And don't believe you can't. Believe that you can. Believe there is nothing stopping you. You do not want any conflicting beliefs to interfere, which would be you stopping you from getting what you want. That's not fun. Not as fun anyway. It's still fun for us.
I think that's the question. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yay.
Christine, please. Christine, you have to unmute.
It's hard for us to lip read from here.
Sorry about that. So mine's not really a question, but more of a comment. So I've been going through so many significant shifts rapidly where I can't even keep up with them anymore. And
Congratulations.
I came on this call, and just as you started to channel, I still have it now. It's like my heart started to beat really, really, really fast. And I started to get an uncomfortable feeling in my solar plexus. And I don't know why I'm starting to quiver up now, but it's just like so much energy going through my body. And I really do the work every day to handle this energy coming through me every day. But with yours, for some reason, it's a little hard to get a grip on, if
We
that
wish
makes
we could take credit for your energy and your physical symptoms, but understand that this is you, very excited and with a tinge of fear, understanding that this is more of you trying to urge you to connect with more of you. So
Yeah.
there are beings who are knocking on your door and you do not hear them
I
because
do hear them, but I think I'm afraid to answer some of it.
that is right. You pretend that you don't hear them, like people who turn their lights off on Halloween and pretend they're not home. But no, it's not exactly like that. We just like that example. But
It gets
yes,
scary a little bit.
yes, and you need to go into those fears. Ask yourself, if you cannot remember, where that first fear happened. Where did somebody tell you that you should fear the unknown, or that ETs would come and gobble you up and abduct you, and you would end up with half a liver one day, and there would be another of you walking around with your liver? But no, there are lots of things which are going on, but it is that introspection. Use that feeling. And now that you have the physical sensation, you can even reference that physical sensation to make your questions clearer. You can ask your higher mind, I felt this. Can you explain to me why I felt this? Or,
I was asking my higher self actually before I decided to ask the question, and I wasn't quite getting the answer, so I figured it better just get it out there, get it out of my body, and just
well,
release
that is another thing to go into, because Do you, and we don't mean to sound, well, if you are afraid to get advice or you don't believe that you can get that advice from your higher self, then your ego puts up the stop sign. Whoa, no, no, she's already indicated that this is not for her. But if you are open to that and you are open to all sources, and we recommend that, to get an affirmation saying, I am open to all sources of information. I will relax and allow, for I understand that this is my highest excitement, and I wish to propel myself into a higher vibration by working on all of the things that I need to. I need to clear up all of the beliefs which do not serve me or who limit me in any way, shape, or form. Now, this is a challenge, we will say, but that is okay because you signed up for this. This is a class that you agreed to take, and we understand and we know you are up to this challenge, and we know you will surmount it, and you will look back and you will say, why did I get in my way? Now I know. Oh my gosh. You're trying to start the car and drive, and you won't take it out of park. So you're not in park, but you might be in a low gear, so you can't really get up to speed on highways. So, but we hope that that helps, and those analogies were somewhat relevant for the larger world. But if does that satisfy you? We will say.
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
And you can
Appreciate
ask a follow-up in just a little bit.
Heidi, please.
Hello, hybrid children.
Welcome.
I wanted to ask, my questions related to some other very special children,
Ooh.
children with special needs, such as autistic children.
What? We understand your terminology, and pardon us for being so direct and interrupting and wedging in on your conversation, but there are no special
please.
needs. There are no special needs. There are opportunities to help, and there are different perspectives. But that is a word which humans like to use, and we do understand that, and we do appreciate using that term so we can help clarify it. But yes, please continue because we like where this is going.
Well, I wanted to mention that different cultures have different ways of describing or relating special needs. So, like, for instance, somebody taught me that the Maori culture, their word for autism means a person in their own space and time. And so I just wondered, and you have already started answering it, how you view, that was my question, is how do you view children, or do you interact? Have you had an opportunity to interact with autistic children? And if so, in what ways, and what can you teach us?
We love them. That's all you need to do. You just need to love them and look out for them. Keep in mind that what you determined as autistic children, or with other things, are all beings who have chosen to have that express form down to the minutest detail of the atoms within it. They have chosen that because they want what this experience can give them. They chose that this is the absolute best way to get what they need. And it may be to help bring others into the realization of how special and unique all life is, and how humans need to look out for one another. And it is not a coincidence that there are many, many, many autistic children on your planet now. And they are straddling worlds in ways because they all, we won't say all, because many of them have that telepathic connection already built in. Now, it may not be focused in your world, understand. but they may be communicating with other parts of themselves on a regular basis. And some, as has leaked out into your news from time to time or various circles, parents are having telepathic communication with their autistic children. And in other ways, there are your technology has allowed some of them to communicate in ways. But that, like any person on your planet, they all have individual needs. I mean, if everybody had a big bowl of tofu put down in front of them, many people would be happy. And many people would say, eh. But that is a choice. It is all different. And you are all different. And so the needs are all different. Even if the people look the same or are classified in a particular category, their needs are different. So with the autistic, and this may take some time, but there is the possibility, and the dream state connection is another possibility, but believe they can communicate with you telepathically. Help awaken that. Let them know that you are interested in having them be a bigger part of your life. For they have a different focus because no one who is really autistic or who is autistic in your terms is generally concerned about any survival thoughts. They understand that they will be cared for, they will have food, they will be getting a coat when it gets cold, and there will be times where they will be uncomfortable and where the stimulation will be too much and they have to retreat into their own minds and blow off that energy by acting out, or that's what, well, that is a term we will use, but that's not what we call it. So, but, and they are more in touch with their non-physical selves. They just can't bring it out to you so much because they do have a narrowed focus and it is mostly internal, which is an amazing gift because to be active in a physical world based on action and not be able to take a lot of action and being dependent on many other people just for your existence, well, your survival, you are existence. So, but that is our answer to that question, and we hope that it helped you, and we hope that you when you see someone who has and you have the calling to help. That is important that you have the calling because they want their independence. Their caretakers want their independence. So, but you can ask them, or if even better, possibly ask their caretaker or who they're with, is there anything I can do? Or something specific if it comes to you. If you are in that state, then you will be given direction. And you can do that too. Now, that is more of an advanced lesson because you have to have that state and caring and to be able to have that connection, that frequency match with those individuals. Because if you have any ulterior motives, it will not happen. Their focus is a little bit more pure. They do not have ulterior motives. It is all very focused. So look at them with love and then try to figure out, and not with your mind, not with your mind, because the mind helps people get in trouble because they butt in or they get ideas. And the 3D concepts are a bit tricky when you're dealing with beings who are wrapped up in their spiritual connections. Ta-da!
Thank you so much. That was very beautiful. I very much appreciated that.
Well, that we hope that helps a lot of people because it carries a frequency which will open up some eyes and hopefully some hearts.
Yes, thank you.
You have a big open heart.
Jennifer.
Thank you.
Hello, children.
Ooh.
I was wondering, because we hear a lot about water beings and air and
Ooh.
sky beings and
Serious
earth beings. Yes. I was wondering if you could tell us anything about fire beings.
fire beings. that is not our expertise. We can tell you that they are part of the original expressions of energies on your planet. For the water exists in all dimensions and ways, because you have to imagine that it is an energy frequency. It is water, liquid, and vapor, and ice in your realm. But that does not mean that it is that way in all realms or any other realms. Fire is the same. It is an expression of energy, a very strong energy, an energy which comes from and is generated and maintained by several beings, some more than others, but it has as you all know, a mind of its own, and it is very creative because it loves to expand. And you all know that. And some of you fear that. Maybe not in this group, we are saying, because we like to be nice and assume, but there are lots on your planet who have been harmed or burned or had their homes destroyed, and they blame it on the fire when they don't realize that, oh, we created this fire so we could have this challenge, so we could learn something from it. They don't ever thank themselves for destroying their own homes. And we understand that, because that is a difficult emotional hurdle to get over, and to have that type of helicopter focus on those types of events. Now, like all elementals, different forms of consciousness choose to inhabit different forms of consciousness. So there are beings, and some have a preference for the water, some have a preference for the fire, some have a preference for the air, some have a preference for dancing in the air, your wind spirits. And then there's also the inner earth beings and the wee folk. They are all existing, but humans have lost touch with that vibration, which will allow you to have that deep heart connection with those energies. And a lot more people are waking up to the connection with Gaia, Mother Earth. They are starting to realize, through grounding and through getting the information they need when they need it, that this is important. Not only are they more than physical, but they are part of something bigger. And while they may not fully grasp it, that tug of that truth will work on them and help them, if they are open, to proceed and lay the impulses in front of them to help them get greater understanding of that. And that makes all who are involved in observing and watching and supporting just happy, because we can see that expansion from our end. And it helps all dimensions, not just yours, not just an individual life. And we know that is tough for humans to imagine, that yes, the fact that you smiled as opposed to not smiling at that person makes a difference. But it does, it does, it does. So we hope that helped.
Yes, thank you.
If anybody else has any questions or desire to interact with the hybrid children through Ray,
And we will all urge you, as a group and a nation and as a humanity, to take better care of your bodies. Now, we do not wish to preach because it doesn't pay well for us, but it is important that you are in the best physical shape that you can manage, because the coming changes are going to stress you. They will shock you. There will be things which will leave you shaking your head, lots, and wondering. And there will be lots of opportunities to move over to fear. Don't do it. Move to hope. But your bodies, you put good quality water in, eat good quality stuff, stay away from the stuff that you know is not good for you. Now, and if you need help on that, we're not going to be able to help you. Well, we could help you, but you have all of that. And there's no sense us telling you what is good for you and what is not. It is all your choice. And if you wish to live on TV dinners and candy canes, we support your choice. But it all affects your vibration if you believe that it does. But there is a biological energy too. And that affects your overall vibration because the energy has to come through your body to get to you. Your body has to handle those vibrations. So if you are doing simple exercises and you are maybe fasting for one meal or for a 1 day a month, or even just having like a organic fruit for 1 day or organic vegetables and fruits for 1 day or something like that. But yes, do that little focus. And if you listen to your intuition, you will find after you make these choices that it will be supporting you. You will pick up that donut and you will hear that little voice saying, is this really the you want to be? And then you can either eat it fast in denial, or you can think about that and choose again. You may choose to still eat the donut, but that choice will come to you in a conscious way. And that is what we wish for you to do, because you do not want to be in a position to help and your body fails you and you have to watch someone suffer, or you're not able to help them as best you could, because you will be dependent upon one another in ways which you have not been in the past. Now, there have been those calamities where communities come together, and regardless of race, sex, creed, or other demographics, they all join together in unity and they create great things in bonding. Now, it may not last depending on the makeup and the goals and desires and beliefs of the individuals involved, but those opportunities are going to be coming. And we have already urged, and others have already urged, to be prepared. Have that extra food, have that extra water available to you. So if there are interruptions in service of any kind, not only will you be okay, but you will have the opportunity to help, to reach out in an open-hearted way and affect people in material ways that will really make them cry and make them see the good in humanity is coming back. And that will touch your heart as well, for in those moments you grow tremendously. So, but if you are prepared to help people, you will really appreciate it when the time comes.
Hybrid children, thank you. From the bottom of our
Ooh.
hearts to yours. With
Does this
joy
mean you're
and
going to sing now?
happiness. Thank you.
Do we have any singers?
I don't think that we're ready
Okay.
for that.
We can wait a week. We can wait a week. We have our song. We have our song. We're not going to unleash it because it is a surprise. Even the jailer doesn't know. He knows part of it because we were practicing and he was listening. He was listening. But that's okay because he can do whatever he wants. It's his choice. We're just glad that he lets us come in. And we're really glad the Pleiadians set all this up too. So we could slide our consciousness in and come through. But thank you all for sharing this experience with us and for sharing this energy with us. And we hope that you will all come back on the Bridging Worlds 3 Hybrid Children special on Zoom next Sunday, the 12th. The 12th, yes, the numbers add up to 3. So we will go and we will come back and we didn't get to talk about what we were doing today. Today, we were looking at different space-time coordinate maps. And that is really cool because you guys, some of you may know, but yes, you can pick out timelines and different realities with those maps. The space beings that we are connected with are amazing in their technology. They teach us so much. But yes, that's what we were doing today. We were looking at different space-time coordinates, and then we could go there we aren't going to explain that. But then, so we could get lots of details, which will help us explain to other beings what other beings are like, as we do with what you are like. And we will be explaining to you what other beings are like too when the time comes. And for now, we wish for all of you to laugh more, play more, and keep that hybrid love, joy in your hearts, and keep it expanding so it bumps into everybody who you come close to. And we will take our leave. And they get so excited.
Wonderful. Since you gave the announcement again, I'm going to remind everybody that we are having a special event next Sunday. It's entirely a hybrid children thing, and there's going to be 5-6 channelers all together with various things, messages, direct communication with hybrids, some meditations. It's a little bit of a whole bunch of different things. And this song that has been alluded to here that somebody has composed and I guess is being prepared in a more professional manner than the last time we attempted it, in which, we had no practice and we just did it. Anyway, so that's next Sunday.
Oh my gosh.